Hi everybody. Hello everybody. Richard here from Dark Frontier Games, continuing my playtesting of Only for Survive. As you know, I always read my little statement out at the start of each of these videos. This is a personal fan-made project called Only for Survive. It is inspired by Left 4 Dead, but not affiliated with or endorsed by Valve. I'm developing it purely as a design experiment and hope one day to explore an official license. That's that out of the way. Sorry to everybody who has to keep hearing that every time. So where we left it last time is that I had just ended Jo's turn, the character here, and she had just spawned. She had searched on her turn, which had unfortunately spawned a dozer, or the tank. It spawned a dozer, and I had got all new rules for, well, not all new, some new rules for those enemies spawning. So I have done all new enemy cards. Now, obviously most of the time the cards are all black, but as the play testing goes on, the prototype will get crapper and crapper, because what I do is I start off by, I'll design an entire prototype, and then I'll normally send that off to a printers online to get printed. So kind of the first version I get will look nice enough. I try and do the prototype as quickly as possible, so I don't want to spend too much time making the prototype look all shiny and nice. Because as the plating testing goes on, I'll just start printing stuff at home, and then obviously I'm not going to print tons of black, so I end up just as I say, the prototype will end up getting worse and worse looking as it develops. As I just start printing more stuff and just sticking it inside, so all the old prototypes are like underneath, and I can kind of, at the end of the development process, I can basically open this card and see all the different iterations of every single card that have been in the game. So as I said, I've got a new card for the dozer. So what's new about it is I just had a new targeting priority order. So here, and a few more rules clarifications. So here I've got healthiest, then grouped, then nearest. Healthiest is the dozer will target the healthiest character first, then if there's a tie between that, they'll target the largest grouped, then they'll target the nearest. There is also a rule that's being added to the rule book, which says that the enemies will always attempt to damage the targets. Obviously it's more eloquently written than that. It will be written than that in the rule book. But basically, if there's a choice between moving to they're always going to try and do the most damage they possibly can. That's how the enemies are going to work. They're always going to be trying to do the most damage, but following the targeting priority. So let's try and crack on and carry on with the playtest. So the dozer, I've got my new dozer card. Jo had spawned the tank, and then I think that's where I stopped with her turn. I don't think I'd moved the other zombies, done their damage. The tank just spawned, so, oh, hang about. Had the other guys moved? No, they wouldn't have moved. Because if she had spawned the tank on her turn, then the tank still has to move. So yes. So what would have happened is it would have been that during her turn, she would have searched and spawned the tank. But it says here that I've already moved them. This shows you how prepared I am for this? Not at all. Now I can't remember. It seems to me that I wouldn't have spawned. That's what happened. I drew her AI card. This is why the little tracker here on each character is very useful, because it can show me what part of the turn I was in. So I was in her draw the AI phase. So she drew this card and spawned the liquor, which is the model here, And she also drew from the bag to spawn something, which spawned the tank. So I know that I've done her AI phase. That's why none of these guys are going to move this round, because that's what I spawned. Okay, so it was the end of her turn, so now it's the other character's goes. But I've got a card that tells me what the tank is going to do in this phase. So we've got a tank to deal with, and we've got all these zombies here, and we've got the Licker here, who now I've got his new character card, the Licker. There it is. The Licker spawns at the furthest spawn. He spawned there on the B because he spawned from a card. They move on their turn. They move 2 away, which means away from the as many characters as possible. They do 2 damage when they hit you. They target the isolated, then the healthiest. So isolated is a character that's the furthest away from any other characters. They, on their turn, they pull a survivor 3 nodes closer, then you place the Licker on that node where they've pulled them to, and then the target is pinned. So they kind of act like the hunter does, the stalker does in my game. They kind of act like the stalker, where the stalker appears, it leaps onto a character and pins them. They kind of drag them to a node and then pin them. So that was kind of the best way I could kind of replicate what the enemy does in the game. So there we go, that's what they're going to do. So that's what he's going to do. So I know that the Licker is going to target Joe's character because she's the furthest away on her own. The tank is going to target, it'd help if I just left them out, wouldn't it? Plonker. Okay, so the Dozer is going to target the healthiest, and they're going to move 4. So who is the healthiest? So Rook is the healthiest here, and he's also the grouped, so he's going to pile into there and knock them 2 and do both of them on that zone 4. So really I don't want both of them to be on anything because they're going to take 4 damage each, which is really bad. So because I know this, and I know that he is going to target Rook because he's the healthiest, it makes sense for me to go with Rook next and move. I definitely want to kill this guy. This location's on fire, so if anybody spawns there, that's good. This location has got 6 zombies on it yet. Right, what we're going to do, we need to get off this tile. Rook's got an SMG. Okay, Rook is going to... Ooh, there's 2 search tokens on this tile. Do I search and risk... Oh, too many things to do. Rook is going to fire, and he's going to shoot the Licker, which is 2 red dice because he's got SMG, 2 red dice and a white dice. Actually, in the game, it's actually going to be slightly grey, but I don't have any grey dice. Well, so his first shot, he gets 3 hits. Oh wow, the Licker's got 3 health. What are the chances? Boom, the Licker is dead. Nice. Then he's going to move. He takes 1 damage because there's 2 zombies there, so he takes half the damage rounded down, so he takes 1 damage to move off that zone. Then he's going to fire again at the tank, and I need to just shoot the tank to death basically. So he's going to shoot again. Oh, at a range of 0 to 1 he gets +1 hit, so he gets 3 hits, so that's 4 hits. His special is I could ignore a rolled reroll, or I could move an extra node. Ooh, I could move into this node and uncover this tile, which means the zombies are then going to spawn in this next tile. Let's move to the next tile. This has never happened before in my playtesting. But then he would lose the range attack bonus on the tank. But then the tank's going to run after him this way. Let's see what happens. So hang about. So first I do 4 damage to the tank. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. I'll keep the dozer, sorry. So I'm going to put 4 damage on the dozer card. There is multiples printed of each card. There would be in the actual game. So obviously for the playtest I've just got 1 of each card. But you would have multiples, so if there was 2 blisters on the board or 2 lickers or 2 dozers, you could put damage on each of their cards or whatever. Something like that. So he's done him 4 damage. And with the star action, he hasn't used any of his quotes. Now, obviously, if I was playing properly, I want to say, I'd be probably using more of these quotes more often because you need to. So I'm going to use this quote, which is "Get up, soldier. Target player heals 5 hit points." So I'm going to use the quote for the round and mark that he's used his quote this round by doing that. And you're going to heal Isaac 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Because Isaac's just about to get hit for 6. That's the point. I should have helped Isaac out. Anyway, okay. So we're doing what we're going to do. So then with that star, I could have got that back. But I'm not going to do that now, but I'm going to use the star for an extra movement, and I'm going to move into this tile. Because I haven't done that before. So what happens when you move into the next tile is that you add the fog token to the next tile along. Now, the entrance can never be needs to be placed on one of the edge tiles, one of the edge nodes connected adjacent to the map. But it can't be placed on top of a spawn point. That's what I'm saying at the moment. So there's 2 nodes here that it could be placed on. So I'm going to say it's going to be placed on this one. It's my choice. How these map tiles are going to be laid out, I'm not sure yet. I think it's just going to be like you could place them next to each other as long as they've got one node that connects. So you could have that map tile up. You could have those 2 map tiles slightly adjacent, or they could be, obviously orientated differently. I haven't specifically worked that out yet. At the moment, you just join them in a big row, but you could do whatever you want. It could easily be that if we have 3 like that, I could have 3 above it, and then obviously when you go from this tile to the next tile, you just move the entrance. When you enter this, say I'm going from this tile to this tile, and then there was another map tile there, you could then move the fog token to one of the nodes on the tile above, and then that's how you get to the next tile, and you can build your own route that way. But for now, we're going to put it here just because you can see it actually on the camera. And now I've moved to this tile, I just need to populate it with items. So there'll be search tokens, and you put 1 search token per player, so 4 search tokens. So we've got search nodes here, here, and here. So that put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. You evenly distribute them, and then you can place 1 on any of the others. So I'm going to put it here because it's near me. Do I want to do that? I'm going to put it here actually, so it forces me to go over that way and collect more stuff before I go to the next tile. We've got 2 raised zones, and on this tile what's different is that we've got 3 blocked zones. So on this tile, I don't know if you can see that there very well, but we've actually got a cross, which means you can't enter those nodes. They're blocked off nodes. The map's kind of a bit more compressed. This is actually the rooftop map, it's called. We've got, is there anything else? Yeah, we've got 2 spawn points there, 2 spawn points there, we've got a special spawn there, and we've got 2 height nodes, different level nodes, so you get an extra dice in attack when attacking from those nodes. There is also, on the rooftop, it shows to add 1 gas canister. So I can add 1 gas canister anywhere on this map, so I'm just going to chuck it in the middle for now. Whatever. So this character moves onto that node. Now this node is the lead. This character moves onto that node. Now this tile is that active tile now. So when I spawn any zombies, they're now going to spawn on this tile. I did originally think when I was designing it that when you move to a new tile, only 2 tiles can be active at any one time. So effectively, if we moved onto that tile, then this tile will become inactive. So if this character cannot activate this tile until all the characters are off that tile. So you can never just run ahead basically to stop that. I did think originally that when 2 tiles were active, zombies would spawn on both. But obviously playing it, there's already maybe too many zombies. And actually maybe these AI cards are too hard at the moment. Then maybe they need to be toned right down. But maybe not, who knows. We need to do more playtesting. Okay. So this character's moved to here. He can still fire back onto that tile. Now this tile is activated. Characters can move from any node onto this new tile. Obviously these 2 nodes are blocked, so the characters can only enter on those 2 nodes, but that is the idea I've got at the moment, that as soon as the fog token has been stood on, then this becomes active and then the players can enter from any node. That seems to make sense to me. Obviously, as I say, these tiles could be offset, so there might only be 2 nodes connecting and things like that. Okay, so it's still Rook's go. He attacked, he moved again because he rolled his special, because the SMG allows you to be a bit more nimble, that's the idea. I'm actually going to spend ammunition to make another attack, which is 3 more hits on the big guy. I'm going to spend another ammunition. Now you can spend up to 3 ammunition around to do additional attacks. 1, 2. Oh, if it's at 0 or 1, I get +1 hit. So if I was in the same node or 1 away. So I'm going to do another attack. 3, 4 hits. This is what we need. Basically just wasting all that ammunition. Well, I'm not wasting it. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. And then I'm going to spend another ammunition to shoot again, because I'm going to shoot 3 times. Nice. So that's another 4 hits. Oh, I've killed it. No, I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many hits have you taken? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I just did him 15 wounds. So that kind of replicates the game. I think if somebody just unloaded their gun, all their ammunition into it, you know. That's it. That's him done. He's moved. That tile is now active. So let's see what happens. So that was Rook's go. Now it's the zombies' turn. I didn't really think about that. That was the zombies' turn to act. So these 2 zombies, I should have searched as well. Ugh, idiot. Okay, these 2 zombies are going to hit Brick for 2. 1, 2. I could, of course, be doing reactionary quotes with the characters who haven't taken their turn yet, which might be essential, actually. Let's have a quick look what we've got. So I could, you see, I've got one here that I could move target player 1 zone. So as a reaction, I could go, Brick's going to do his shout to move this character out of that zone, but then the zombies would just move on to him and hit him again. Okay. And then I need to think about, can players use quotes on characters in a different map tile? Is there some kind of thing with distance there? Are some of these shouts need to have a range stat? Don't know yet. Okay, I'll just forget about it for now. I just want to see how this plays out. Okay, those 2 zombies attack. This zombie is going to move he's closest. So now there is a card for the common infected, and they are target the nearest and then the weakest. So nearest is here, but this is 2 nodes away. You can't damage him here because he can't join that node because it's already full. So it's going to move to a different node because the zombies will always attempt to do damage if they can. And at the moment there's no way they can do damage there. So this is the closest node, so this zombie is actually going to move this way. Oh, actually, yes, this way. The zombies now can actually, because this tile is open, the zombie could actually move this way, one. But with the zombie movement, it's always they move to the nearest survivor and it's the nearest physically as well. So this is actually closer than this, if that makes sense on the board. This makes them by distance closer than being there, I think. It's about the same, but anyway, I'm going to say that. Then these zombies all hit Isaac. Has Isaac got anything to do? I mean, that's something to think about, is like if somebody says the zombies are all going to hit you and then you play a reaction to move, then you're like, well, the zombies are just now just hitting you and you're moving during the hit. That's something to think about. Anyway, I'm saying he takes 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It might be that some of the cards are marked that you can only use them as reactionary cards. So I think the moving players being able to move would have to be a card that can be only used during a player turn and not as a reaction card, because it's going to make too many unambiguous situations. If a player can go, the zombie's just about to hit me, I'll move, and then it's like, oh, the zombies have already moved, even though they haven't moved, and they're just about to do their attack. It probably causes too many problems. So this is why the playtest videos like this take a while, because I was thinking out loud and writing notes, which I've got tons and tons of notes that I keep writing during the gameplay. So quote cards. I need to have reactionary cards. Reactionary cards. I'll put not all movement can be reactionary. Yeah, there we go. So that makes sense that, as I say, I haven't done much to these quote cards yet because they're probably going to throw a few spanners in the works when it comes to the main gameplay, like we've just seen. So I need to make sure I can get this bit to work, the main bulk of the game, before the frilly fun edge bits. That's the way I look at it. So yes, so Isaac takes 6 damage. The zombies are moved. Now, the dozer would have moved. I've got an enemy turn activation order here, and actually the dozer would have gone before the normal zombies. So that would change the damage that Brick would have taken. So let's remove the 2 damage that he's taken. And, yes, I need to remove that damage. And his damage, 6, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is important. This is important, actually, yeah. So I've removed Isaac and Brick's damage because he's going to move first, and his targeting priority is the healthiest survivor. So who's the healthiest? It is Rook, so he is going to go this way. And he's going to move up to 4. So he goes 1, 2, pushes Rook back. I'm going to get pushed back onto this nice search token, thank you. But Rook then takes 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the tank go, not too bad. Now Brick would have taken 2 damage, and now Isaac would have taken 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. That's better. That was the enemy turn. Now it's Rook's turn to draw a AI card. I'm 4 spaces away from going to a zombie rush, which we haven't had happen yet, so that's fun. So I'm going to draw from this deck here. And it's a green. Streetlights flicker. +1 search token. Very nice. I'm going to add a search token. I need to add it. That's interesting. That's another thing to think about. I think when you draw cards, you have to add them to the tile you're on. That makes sense. So that's something I need to note. AI cards. Tokens. Added to your current tile. You can see there's so many like little finicky rules that come up when you're designing that you just can't really think about until you get to do a play test like this. So it's telling me to add a search token, so that's 1 additional search. So I'm going to add it to this. So I can't add it to this one because it's already got 2 on, but I can add it to this one or this one. I'm going to add it to the one I'm on. Thank you. I need to be going through these search tokens because that's how I get my ammo back, because I am running low on some people's ammo. And potentially get a better weapon. I definitely need a better weapon for Jo because she's got the dual pistol, so that's rubbish. I mean, it's fine, but... So the streetlights flicker, the little quote on it is, light returns for a heartbeat, then darkness. So I spawn 2 zombies at A. Where's A? A there we go. 2 zombies on the new tile, hopefully you can see that. And I get +3 threat. 1, 2, 3. We're nearly in a horde rush, so we'll see how that goes down. I'm feeling it's going to be really bad. And then that's the end of Rook's go. So now it is, yep, all the zombies went, yep. So now we've got Isaac and Brick. I think, now, at the moment, both of these characters have got med kits. At the moment, using an item is just a free action. I could think, well, how am I going to replicate the kind of panic of your character doing... You could just say, well, it takes an action, so you're wasting an action, running away, healing yourself. That would kind of make the most sense. I don't know whether it should be a free action yet. I feel that like it costing an action probably makes sense. I might even have it like that in the rules. This is my current 1.3 rule book for only for survive. I've got move, free action move, actions, take 2 actions, attack, interact, use medkit. Oh yeah, it costs you an action. And trading costs you an action. And interacting with a scenario token costs you an action. That makes sense, yeah. Okay, yeah, so I've got it written in the rules 1.3 that it costs you an action to use your medkit. And the medkit heals you. Let's get the card. I think it's 15. Yeah, it heals me 15 hit points. So it would heal me all the way back up to 4. So that's good. For Isaac. Now, Isaac is here and he's got 6 zombies on him, so it's probably best I deal with that first. And he has got an SMG, so he's going to have a nice time shooting all those zombies. So right, we're going to do that. Remember, I've got the tank here as well. But at least he's off the tile and he's going to be chasing around poor Rook, just smashing into him, doing 4 damage every turn. Okay, Isaac's going to go. He is going to roll his attack. He's got an SMG, so he's rolling 2 medium and 1 weak dice against all these zombies here. He gets a nice roll of 4 hits. He's at his range 0 to 1, so he gains +1, so he gains 5 hits. 5 zombies down. Nice. Oh, wait a minute. None of those were a miss. I forgot that I'm next to this alarm node, which I don't, which has caused me a nightmare in the previous video, if you saw that one. If I roll a miss while adjacent to that, I have to draw at the moment I've got draw 2 extra AI cards. I think that's actually probably too hard because it caused me a nightmare before, but it's kind of fun, so maybe it needs to be a bit more of a nightmare. So at the moment, if I fire into the node with the alarm, you set it off automatically. If I miss firing adjacent to it, effectively you kind of miss and hit the whatever's setting off the alarm, the car or the building or whatever it is. That's what that represents. There is 2 search tokens here. I really need to search those. So I could fire again and get rid of these other zombies, but it seems like I'm risking just setting a load of alarms off. So you're allowed to move onto a node with an alarm, you just can't fire. So Isaac's fired. He's going to move 1, 2. So he's still got an attack action. The SMG's got a range of 3. 1, 2, 3. I can pretty sure I can kill the dozer and then search. 1, 2, 3. I won't get the bonus, but that's fine. But that's what we're going to do. The dozer already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hits on him. I just need to do him 5 hits. So I'm going to put 5 cubes on the dozer. I just need to remove those 5 cubes. So he's going to fire. I didn't take a damage from moving out of this node with the zombie because there's only 1, and you take half the damage rounded down. I do 4 hits of damage. 4 hits of damage to the tank. That's fine. I'm going to spend an ammo to fire again because I want him gone. No. Ooh, that's interesting. Now I've rolled a re-roll, which means I have to spend an ammo, but I have got enough hits to kill him. But I said, if you're shooting into a node adjacent to him and you roll a miss, adjacent to the alarm node, if you roll a miss, you set it off. Now I'm firing from a node that's adjacent to the alarm, and I've rolled a miss. Now that to me seems to make sense that if you roll a miss and you're on a node adjacent to the alarm, then you set it off as well. And because that kind of makes sense, right? You're next to the thing that you can set the alarm off, and you shoot and you miss, you kind of hit the thing. And if you're firing into a node that's adjacent to the thing and you miss, so even though it's harsher, I think that because I'm shooting to a node that's not adjacent to the alarm, I would always try and make the game harder, I think. So you'd be thinking, I don't want to be shooting from a node. We'll think about that. So alarm, shooting from a node or into node, or both. Okay, so that's something to think about. I think thematically it makes sense that if I'm shooting and I'm on a node and I miss, I hit the thing that I'm trying to not shoot at. But so how I like to do it is, the rules as I've got written at the moment are, if you shoot into a node and you miss, if I just play this if I just make up a rule now and play that, then my notes won't make sense because I won't be playing the notes that as written. So at the moment I'll ignore the miss and just say that it doesn't set off the alarm, but I think potentially, not in my notes now I've got that I might change that in the rules going forward. So he shoots again, he gets 2 hits, so he just kills the dozer with 1 extra hit. Awesome, the tank is dead. And I rolled, I spent the extra dice, the extra ammunition token, because you can only spend, I'd already spent that to do an extra shooting action. And he got his special, which is I can ignore, I've got a special, so I can ignore having to spend an ammunition. So I get that ammunition back, sorry. So even though I had you've missed, that still counts as a miss, but this cancels out. I can ignore that because I rolled a special, and the special of the SMG is ignore one of the rolled, spend an ammunition. Okay, so awesome. So that was his turn. The end of his turn, he's going to not do any more actions, but I'm going to search. There's always something goes wrong. Oh, it's a Molotov. Oh. So I can put that, I can carry that in his items, which I will. Pop the Molotov into his hand. Nice. That's his turn done. Then it's going to be the zombie turn. So we've got 2 damage going in here. Brick will take him. Then this zombie is going to move towards the most damaged or group. So he could move 1 to there. Joe's certainly not the most damaged. So he's going to move, I'm going to say he's going to move 1 there. This zombie is going to move 1 there. Then that's the zombies moved. I've taken the damage. Then it's Isaac's needs to draw an AI card. Now this can be, so we drew from that deck before. So I'm going to draw from this deck. Come on. It's a red. Boomer Ambush. I'll show you. Oh no, sorry. Blister Ambush. Blister Ambush is, who's this for? This is for Isaac. Gains +2 ammunition. Nice, find some ammunition. How much has he got? 8 he can have. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can't carry more ammunition than your weapon can hold. So he gains 2 more ammo. Nice. I spawn a blister, which is like a fatty boomer, at B. Ooh, now this is interesting. So when spawning new zombies, they spawn on the new tile. But I'm actually thinking it might make sense for the enemies spawn on the card on which, the spawn on the map tile of which the character is standing. So it means that the characters back here still have stuff to deal with even if they're trailing behind. Because at the moment, one character could run all the way forward and then everything spawns in their tile and then these guys are just catching up. But originally I thought that was a better way to do it, but maybe it's not. But at the moment, I'm going to play it as I've just said before, the rules as written currently, 1.3. So the enemies will spawn on this tile and we'll just see how that works out. So it's saying the boomer spawns at B, which is on this tile, but I'm going to put a note about that. AI card spawning. Maybe spawn on the characters tile. There we go. Okay, so a blister spawns at B, and then 5 zombies spawn at B. 3, 4, 5. There we go. He's got protection as well, because when you're shooting, you have to destroy the common zombies first before you can hit the specials, unless you've got a certain weapon. And it's put, he explodes in a crowd. That's what the card says. And then we put that little marker there to show we've drawn from that. And I don't need to move the threat tracker. Safe. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We've actually got to tile number 2. That's Isaac's AI card, so that's the end of Isaac's go. Now there's just Brick to go. Right, Brick is fed up with these two zombies hitting him constantly, so he's going to fire, and Brick's got the shotgun, so he rolls 1 black and 1 red. He gets 2 hits, nice, but he also has to spend an ammunition, because he rolled a reload icon. But he's free! He's finally free. His second action is free. He's going to draw this search token. He's not going to draw that search token. I think we need to get more. He's going to spend an ammunition. So he's not used his other action yet. He's going to spend an ammunition to do another attack. Oof! He got 5 hits then. He kills that one zombie. Oh. I just fired into the zone. Actually, he fired and he rolled a miss, so I would have already set the alarm off. So at the moment, I've got to play as the rules are written. So stupidly, the zombie was covering up the alarm node. So he would have already set the alarm off though when he fired in the previous round. So I'm going to pretend I didn't roll that because I'm going to have to rewind a bit. And when he killed the 2 zombies that were here, he set the alarm off. Great. So he sets the alarm off. That means I have to draw 2 AI cards. Okay. Subway overrun. This would be interesting because I feel like the zombies should appear in this tile, but they're actually going to appear in this tile, which means Rook is in a real bad way. But that could be interesting. So, oh my god, 4 appear at every single spawn point. So, not every single one's on this tile, but 4 are going to appear at A, so there's now 6 there. 4 are going to appear at B. That's great, that tile's already full, so no more. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, there's 5 there, so 1 more can appear there, and then 4 appear at C, and 4 appear at D. Remember, this is the first one. Subway overrun, every tunnel howls back. I don't advance the round tracker. This is where you get a combination of bad rolling on, which is what the game should do. So I drew from that deck, and then I'll draw from this deck here. Let's put a little marker on there, and it's another school gym horde, the prep rally from hell. Oh my God. This is good actually. This is good because it's an alarm, and now it's telling me to spawn 5. This card is telling me to spawn 5 at A and D. Well, all these spawn points are almost already full, so actually it's done me a favour. I can't spawn any there because it's already at max. Can't spawn any there. I can spawn. It's telling me spawn 5 at A, can't do, and 5 at D, which is there, but it's already full, so I'll spawn 2 more. Now, I could have a rule that maybe says that if the nodes on the current tile are full, you then spawn in this tile. I won't play that as that at the moment, but that is something interesting that could be maybe overspill from the current tile goes onto the previous tile or something like that. And I increased the threat by 1, and you can see I'm 1 away from having to do a horde rush, which means at the end of each player's turn I would spawn 2 AI cards, which means even more zombies on the board. Okay, that's fun. That's good fun. That's good fun. So there we go. Tons more zombies. This is this is Brick's go because he set the alarm off. He's still got the rest of his turn to go. Whew. Okay, so he set the alarm off. Then he would have made. Then he's spending an ammo to making an extra attack, and he rolls. He kills that zombie, but he has to spend another ammunition. Now that's another thing that I could think about is you can spend up to 3 ammunition a round to make extra attacks, but does ammunition spent on rerolls detract from the 3 that you can spend per round? As in, do they count? Which I think maybe they should. So if you roll 3 reloads in a round, you can't then spend that ammunition. It could be that you only get to spend 3 ammunition, and if you spend 1 on a reload, then you can't spend 3 more on top of that. You could only spend 2 more. So it's something to note that the ammo extra shots and reloads. I'll just put a note about that. That's just something to think about. That was his. So I fired, but I have still actually got an attack left. He hasn't moved. He's going to search. We know it's going to be a zombie. There's so many positive tokens in there. Guess what we draw? A blister. This is ridiculous. But it's funny. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. So I drew a blister. At least I know that there's no more blisters in the bag now because I've drawn them all. So a blister is basically a fatty. No, a blister comes out. So now we've drawn the blister from the bag. I'll look at his card, and it says the blister. He spawns at the special spawn point, which is there. There he is. He appears. So that's that search token done. At least I know, as I say, at least I know now that they've got a lot of positive ones to come. So the blister is spawned. It was such a waste. I had this tile down here. Oh, that should be flipped to 1, sorry. That this location was on fire. So if anybody spawned there, they would just burn and die in the flame. But because now I activated this tile, none of them spawned on that tile. So that would have got rid of all those guys there, would have been dead. So that might as well be removed because it's pointless because they're all going to spawn on this tile. I've still got a move and an attack action, but I don't want this blister to hit me because then my movement will be reduced to 1. So I am going to move 1, 2, and then shoot the blister with his normal attack. And this is a pump shotgun. Oh, and spend another ammunition. Did I take an ammunition from him before? I can't remember. Anyway, I re-roll, shoot. Oh, wait a minute. The blisters have got 1 health. Boom, he dies. Okay. I suddenly thought the blisters had 3 health. Maybe they should have 3 health. That could make it more fun. Blister health. 3? Question mark. So maybe their health should be 3 because the characters are generally doing more damage now, and so it kind of would maybe make it a bit more risky, a bit more fun if you shoot him and you don't just roll enough hits, and then you've got to go, I've got to waste some more ammunition to shoot him. Anyway, so we've destroyed the blister, and see, I could fire again. How much ammunition has he spent? He spent 2. So I'm going to spend 1 more to fire again this way. Now, shooting from nodes, yes, that's fine. That's 1, 2 nodes away. Even though when you're going from tile to tile, only that node is considered to be adjacent. Even though obviously on these nodes you can fire diagonally, this node is only adjacent, but it's got a range of 3, so that's 1. So it's got a range of, the shotgun's got a range of 2, so 1, 2, I can fire to that node. But it doesn't count as 1 node away or anything, it counts as 2 nodes away. If that makes sense. So I'm going to I've spent that ammunition, I'm spending quite a lot of ammunition here. I have to think I've got to get to this tile and start kicking butt. So he's going to roll 2 dice, and he gets Reload them and no hit. Oh god. So at range 0, so he rolled a special, so I could get one of my cards back. I haven't used any of his cards, that's fine. At range 0, I could have rolled an extra black dice, which basically the same as re-rolling a dice. So I could roll an extra heavy dice, or if I was at the range 0 to 1, I could knock all the zombies back 1 node, but it's at range 2, so I can't actually use any of his specials because I'm at long range. And obviously the shotgun only works at close range. So rubbish. That's Brick's go. Now it is the zombie turn. Now we've got a lot going on here. This zombie, let's do this zombie first. Oh wait a minute. The turn of the blisters goes last. So zombies move towards the weakest. Brick is the weakest here. Moves, takes 1 damage. These zombies are going to move towards the nearest character. They're going to move here. These zombies are going to move here because it's closer. These guys are all going to move there because it's closer. These guys are going to move there because it's closer. That's not too bad. Then it's Brick's AI card draw, which is going to put me into doubles because I'm going to go on the threat tracker. So unless I draw a red, which will be bad, it's a red. Guess what it is? I think what I might have to do is, this card is Tank Arrival. So that tells you everything. That I'm just about to spawn a tank on the board. I mean, it is kind of like the game, right? It just gets worse and worse and worse. So, Brick gets +3 ammo. That's awesome. And at the special spawn that's furthest away, I spawn the tank. So the tank, because this is the icon furthest. Ooh. Now, this is interesting. Yes, furthest away from him. So furthest away from the character, that's actually furthest away from all the characters. That's the way furthest away is going to work in this game. So it is actually, the tank could have spawned on this special spawn or this special spawn, so it's going to spawn on this one. And then it says the tank spawns at the furthest. Also, it's got a little plus bag. If the tank's been removed from the bag, I have to add him back into the bag. So he's already been out, so double trouble. A tank appears, and I have to add the potentiality of him appearing again. So just when the bag got nicer, it's now getting stronger again. But that's all that appears is the tank. I say all. That's all that appears is the tank. So the tank appears. This is going to be funny as hell. The tank appears, right? And I have to add. So it says tank arrival, the ground shape. So sorry, I keep saying the tank. I keep getting the terminology wrong because of the nature of what I'm creating. He's called the dozer in this game, only for Survive. So the dozer appears, and it says the ground shakes before you see him. So that's where I drew the tank from. I think it was that deck. I put a little token on it so I know where I've drawn from. Then I have to move the threat tracker 1, which now puts me in the horde rush mode, which means that now I have to draw 2 AI cards each round. Now currently, the way I've got the rules is that it doesn't happen, I think that it doesn't happen this character's turn that moves him into it, or does it? I can't remember. I don't think it does at the moment. That card moved me into it, but then it won't. It will activate when the next character's turn goes. It will be that now we're in the horde first rush phase. I then draw the card, the extra card, while I'm in it. Yes, that makes sense. Excuse me. So That was Brick's go. All he did was spawn a tank and add a new tank back into the bag. So that's not bad, but now it's put me into the horde rush phase. So the next character's turn, which will be any characters, because now all the characters are reset back to the start, because he was the last character to go. Now it will be the next round. So let's try and play around. How long have we done already? We've nearly done an hour already. So let's resolve this. This token, fire token, would have been removed already because the fire would have gone out. We've got a lot going on here. This is where a lot of bad stuff is going to happen. The tank is going to pummel into Rook and doing tons of damage, and all these zombies are just going to go do potentially just kill him. And Rook's got 4 ammunition. Okay, I think this is a good place to stop for the moment. Now I'm at the start of a new round where all the characters are ready to go, and we've basically done an hour of play testing, and the next round I'll be able to come to the game as it is, and it's obvious where I'm starting, and we've got a few new juicy things to play test in the next play test. Okay, thanks guys, see you next time.